Pharaoh is having some bad dreams. We are told at the start of Miketz that Pharaoh has two bad dreams, and he calls about all of the Chartumim, all the magicians of Egypt, and no one seems to give him the right symbolic interpretation to his dreams. Until Yosef comes along. Yosef comes along and says, I'm not going to give you my interpretation, but these are the words of God. And he tells him, right, the first 7 symbolize years of famine and years of bounty, and then the next 7 years of famine, and so on and so forth. My question is very simple. Why does Pharaoh decide to listen to Yosef? It doesn't make any sense. Everyone is giving a symbolic interpretation of Pharaoh's dreams. What makes Yosef's words create this response in Pharaoh that he says, wow, he is an Ish Navon, he is a wise man, I know that he's telling the truth. So a beautiful Hasidic interpretation gives us the answer in a cryptic message which King David leaves us in Psalms 81. In Psalms 81 it says that when Yosef is in Egypt, it says, Sfat lo yadati eshma. Right? Yosef is in Egypt, an Ivri, a Hebrew person, he doesn't understand the language. However, there's another interpretation for the word safa, and that is not only language, but also edge. The edge of a river, edge of a Nile. Now pay attention. At the start of Parashat Miketz, when we are told Pharaoh's actual dreams, we are told that he is standing al haya'ol. He is above or on top of the river Nile. However, when Pharaoh gives his interpretation of his dreams to the magicians and to Yosef, all of a sudden, he doesn't say that he's on top of the Yaor, rather he says, al sfat Yaor, I'm on the edge of the Yaor. Why does he do this? The Nile was considered like a god, a deity. It was a sacred thing in Egypt, so for Pharaoh to come and say, I'm a king and I'm above our god, doesn't really look good. So he didn't say what he dreamt, but he tweaked it a little bit. However, when Yosef comes to him, and this is what King David, the secret that he reveals to us, Yosef says to him, maybe you just said to me safa, but that's not what I heard. I know that you dreamt that you were on top of the Nile. That's the in-between the lines that we're missing here that makes Pharaoh say, that is exactly what I dreamed. And then it doesn't matter Yosef's symbolic interpretation because Pharaoh knows that Yosef's interpretation is divine, it is from God. How else would he know that what he really dreamed, that he is on top of the Nile and not by the Nile? One final remark. I checked in the King James Bible, beautiful English except they have one mistake. At the start of the parasha it says, and it came to pass the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. Mistake. King James Bible do not notice the difference between omed al haya'ol, standing on or above the Nile, and al sfat, on the edge of. And thus, this powerful message, Hasidic message of why Pharaoh listened to Yosef gets lost in translation. Shabbat Shalom.